What is going on, everybody? I am back again with a Black White 2 Wi-Fi battle. This time it is a NU battle that I had against SMPGaming. He messaged me on Skype, asked for a battle, and then a battle took place shortly after, as one can only assume. So, looking at his team, he has a Sun team if I've ever seen one. He's got Volbeat on there to set up the priority Sun, and he's got Sawsbuck, Rapidash, and Exeggutor as his Pokemon to abuse the Sun. So, round with the match, I'm going to lead off with my Roselia as he leads off with his Gardevoir. And I'm going to want to switch out of there right off the bat because I do not want to take a Psychic. So I'm going to go into my Mr. Mime because even though my Roselia is specially defensive, I'm pretty sure my Mr. Mime can take a Psychic a lot better. So, bring in Mr. Mime, and the fact that he switches out right here is kind of making me think that he's choiced in some way or other, whether it be Specs or Scarf, I don't know. But I'm expecting him to want to go into his Sawsbuck to try to take a take a Shadow Ball. So try to go with the Focus Blast to catch that thing on the switch in. But he goes into his Volbeat, and since I do not want to get paralyzed by that thing, I'm going to go into my Roselia to take the Thunder Wave, because it doesn't matter on Roselia, because since I do have Natural Cure, that paralysis will just go away on the switch out. So, since I'm pretty sure he's going to take this opportunity to set up the Sun, I'm going to take this opportunity to set up my Toxic Spikes. So, one layer of Toxic Spikes, as he's just going to U-turn now and go into his Rapidash as I set up my second layer of Toxic Spikes. So now anything that comes in is going to take toxic damage, or receive toxic stage damage. So, second layer of Toxic Spikes up, and since I do not want to take a Flare Blitz from this thing, I am going to go into my Torkoal to sponge the Flare Blitz. As he does in fact go for the Flare Blitz because it's Stab, it's Sun boosted, and I don't know if he's Bandit or Scarf because I do not see Life Orb recoil, so he could be either or. So, anywho, since I'm assuming that he is locked onto Flare Blitz, I'm going to take this opportunity to set up my rocks as he switches out into his Regirock. So, rocks are up, 2 layers of Toxic Spikes, and now pretty much the rest is up to my Roselia to set up the rest of the entry hazards. So, since my Torkoal really can't do a whole hell of a lot to Regirock, I'm going to switch out of there, go into my Roselia as he is just going to set up his own Stealth Rocks. So that's a safe switch in for my Roselia, which is always a good thing. And yeah, so anywho, right here, I'm just going to take this opportunity to set up my first layer of Spikes as he goes back into his Gardevoir. And yeah, so anywho, after this layer of Spikes, I practically have the majority of my hazards set up. So now at this point, he's really going to want to start playing his switches properly, I guess. So, I'm going to go into my Stalin here. Same as before, I don't want to say and take a Psychic. So I'm going to predict him to want to go for a Shadow Ball, predicting my Mr. Mime switch in, and I was half correct in the fact that he was predicting my Mr. Mime switch in, but he goes for Signal Beam, so my Stalin does take some extra damage. But speaking of extra damage, I'm just going to go for a Return here just to get that extra damage off on anything that wants to switch in, even if it is this Regirock, because even though it's resisted by a lot, with all the entry hazards set up, he is not going to want to appreciate any extra damage. So, I'm going to switch back to my Roselia to take a Drain Punch, expecting him to want to go for it to get some HP back. So now I'm just going to set up my second layer of Spikes, as right here, he's just going to opt to go for the Sunny Day. So, actually, never mind. But since he went for the Sunny Day, that will allow me to set up my last layer of Spikes. So now I have all my entry hazards up, and there really is nothing he could do about it due to his lack of a spinner. So, he's just going to finish me off with the Rock Side, and he is just going to die himself due to the poison. So double down, I'm going to go into my Scarf for being my Electabuzz, even though that doesn't really matter because he can go into any of his Chlorophyll Pokemon and easily outspeed me, and he decides to just go into his Sawsbuck. I forgot this thing's name for a second. But now at this point, I'm going to want to play the switching game around because I just want to stall the Sun as much as possible. And since I'm pretty sure he's going to want to go for the Nature Power Earthquake, I'm pretty sure my Lapras can take one of those and then hit him with an Ice Shard since I do have that. And I'm just really hoping that an Ice Shard is either A, enough to take out the Sawsbuck, or B, enough to bring him down to a point where Life Orb and Poison will the next turn. So, unfortunately enough, I barely miss out on the kill, and he is able to finish me off with the Horn Leech. Highly doubt that crit mattered though. But, yeah. So, anywho, and then on top of that, with all that HP he gained back from the Horn Leech, he will be able to survive this next turn of Poison and Life Orb. So, right here, I'm going to pull double switch, go into my Mr. Mime, and then double switch back into my Torkoal, expecting to either A, one, go for the Horn Leech to get some more HP back, or B, go for the Mega Horn just to flat out kill my Mr. Mime. But he decides to go for the Horn Leech, and either way, my Torkoal resists, and he will be able to die off to the Life Orb and Poison at the end of the turn. So, Sawsbuck is dead. That's one Sun Sweep, or Sun Threat, I guess you could say that, out of the way. As he goes to his Gardevoir, and I'm pretty sure the Sun has about 2 more turns, I believe. So, I'm just going to leave my Torkoal in to die, as he's just going to finish me off with Psychic, so that's cool, I guess, because I mean, I really don't need my Torkoal all that much. So, yeah. Anywho, go into my Electabuzz here, as I'm just going to go for Thunderbolt, because even if his Gardevoir is Scarfed, I know I can outspeed because Electabuzz is just naturally faster than Gardevoir, so yeah. Anywho, lock myself into Thunderbolt as he goes to Exeggutor, and I believe this is the last turn of Sun, so I'm going to go into my Mr. Mime just as Death Fodder, as he's just going to go for the Solar Beam just to practically kill off anything that wants to switch in, because that is a stab Solar Beam from an Exeggutor, and Exeggutor is quite the powerhouse. So, Mr. Mime's dead as the Sun goes away, which is cool stuff. So I'm gonna go into my my Stoutland here, because at this point I can just go for a return on practically everything, because nothing is gonna want to take a return. So Exeggutor is down, and I believe he's just going to go into his Rapidash, I forgot to say his name for a second, and he's just going to finish me off with a low kick. Doesn't really matter because he's going to die to the poison this turn anyways, since he is a just at stage 1 poison as opposed to stage 2, because if he was stage 2 poison, then he wouldn't be able to survive. But that doesn't really matter, because my last is this my last Pokemon, or do I have one more? I think I still have Mr. Mime's dead. I think this is my last Pokemon. So our Electabuzz is in, as he has his Volbeat in, and Volbeat really can't do a whole hell of a lot to Electabuzz. So I will be able to take the game from him with a Thunderbolt. So that right there was good game, SMPGaming. Yeah, so anywho, he said he will be uploading his side of the match, so I will be sure to leave a annotation to that on the screen and in the description down below whenever he does upload that. Yeah, so anywho, with all that stuff being said, thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy this match, then feel free to leave a comment down below. Do not forget to show the like button some love, and if you're not subscribed to me already and would like to do so, then feel free to click that subscribe button right above. So, with all of that stuff being said, thanks for watching, and peace.